Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and in just a moment, the video is going to be a recording of a conversation I had with an affiliate I'm planning on doing some work with regarding getting players onto coin poker. This is pretty much just a informational video for anyone who wants to get involved in the site, and the conversation is basically going to tell you all, like, if you're interested in playing, what to expect in terms of your rate back when it's paid, etc., etc. But before that, to save anyone wasting their time listening to it if they don't think they want to play on the site, I'm going to give my initial thoughts on what I've seen in the maybe week now that I've had access to the site. I've been playing on the site for about a week. I'll probably put 12 to 15 hours in, I think, because I also play elsewhere. And my initial thoughts are when games run, they are pretty soft. I would say softer than iPoker, not as soft as Sky for UK based players. Um, Softer than ACR for the limited amount of time I played on that, and from an awful lot of what I've seen when watching people stream and watching YouTube stuff. So game quality is good. There's a decent number of regs on there, but they're not good regs, and there's definitely fun players. So like in terms of pure game quality, can't complain. Games are good. The biggest downside at the moment is traffic is a bit hit or miss. I was playing last night and I did go up to 7 tables, which is really good. But quite often you can log in and there might only be 2 or 3 tables running, and then when you try and start tables, it can sometimes take 10, 15 minutes before a table becomes full. So yeah, if you're the volume guy, then it's maybe not for you right now. Maybe it will be down the line if or when traffic increases to the site. The site is like growing. It's been around a few years, and if you look at the trends on things like Prime Dope and what have you, you can see the trend is for traffic to grow. The traffic is growing, and it will continue to grow. But right now, it's probably not going to be suitable for you if you're the sort of player who wants to play 100,000 hands a month or whatever. Probably not going to be for you because you're just quite simply not going to be able to get that. But if you're a recreational player, then it might be for you because games are relatively soft, certainly softer than most of the mainstream sites. You're going to get 40% through us. You're going to get 40% flat rate back, which is better than anything you get anywhere else. Because a lot of the rewards on poker sites reward people who put long hours in and many hands in. Here it isn't. It's just no matter how many hands you play, you're going to get 40% rate back. So if you're a recreational player who is comfortable playing just like anything between 2 and 4 tables, that's great. And also if you're a grinder who kind of doesn't do great but grinds it out month on month, year on year, putting plenty of hours in, then the prop program that the affiliate is running might well be for you. It. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if the 30,000 hand mark is going to be easy to achieve, which is where the prop payment comes in. Maybe I need to speak to Rob about adjusting that a little bit to give props a fair shake, because I've been giving it some thought. And in the video, we talk about 30,000 hands a month. I'm not sure 30,000 hands a month is reasonable at the moment, given the traffic on the site, because I just think it's going to be very difficult to achieve 30,000 hands. But yeah, if you want to help be a game starter, if you're happy starting games, you want to help be a game starter, and you would like some extra rate back on top of the 40%, then definitely get in touch, because new sites need props, and we are looking for props. So if you'd be interested in becoming a prop, then do get in touch too. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation with Rob. There's plenty of good information in there, and I'm keen to promote this site because I get lots of offers every week from various nefarious characters trying to get me involved in app games, in doing all sorts. You can't imagine how many different offers I get from different people. And I never take them up. Literally, I just ignore most of them. I don't even respond. But I think this one is a good one. I try to only bring offers to you guys that I think is good, like the BBC offer. That didn't go down too well, but it was a good offer for you guys. When I was working on the apps, a lot of people did very well on the apps through me because I got people into good clubs with a reputable agent and good rate back. I only bring things to you guys when I think they're worth doing, and I think this is definitely worth doing. It's a slow burner. I think it's a site that's growing, it's going to continue to grow. And if you're getting on the ground floor now, you'll be in there with like good rate back payments, um, a decent prop opportunity if you want it, and also in games that are currently like pretty soft, certainly as soft as any mainstream site you can imagine. So, yeah, obviously I'm keen for you guys to get involved. Keen for it because primarily it's getting people who follow me for a long time into relatively good games with really good rate back. On top of that, it gives me a small side income, which allows me more freedom to do more stuff in my community that I'd like to do. It's going to hopefully, if I start to um, create a small passive income from this. Hopefully, I'll be able to get involved and do more voluntary work over the winter than I've been able to do lately because I've been grinding so hard. So, from my point of view, I'm hoping it's going to make me a small income stream. Otherwise, why would I do it? I'm not pretending this is all like for your guys' benefit, but I think we can both benefit from this. I think, well, all three of them. I think Robbo can benefit with his rate back site. I can benefit, and you guys will have the most benefit because you're getting into games that you've never seen before, and you're going to be getting pretty good rate back when doing it. Don't let the crypto bit put you off. If you listen further in the video, there are ways that we can facilitate for you to deposit without having to use crypto. So if the main thing about you not wanting to play on this site is I don't want to get involved in crypto, that's completely fine. Do not worry about it. There are ways around that where we can just enable you to deposit without having to create like a crypto wallet or have money in crypto to play. So yeah, please have a listen to the video and then get in touch. I will if you're just on YouTube and you're not in my Facebook group, then you can get in touch with me via my email address. That's beneath every video I ever create. If you're on Facebook, please leave a message beneath the post this video is going to be in to get in touch with me. Or if you don't want to post publicly to me, then send me a private message and I will get back to you with a link to the Discord channel that I've created where you can speak directly with Rob and myself and get yourself set up as quickly as possible. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video with Rob, and hopefully I'll be talking to some of you guys in the coming days and weeks about getting you involved in these games, and hopefully we all make a little bit of money from it. So we're here with Rob now, who's the affiliate from, what's your site called, Rob? Your affiliate site?
My website is rakebackbible.com.
Rakebackbible.com. This is Rob. I've been aware of Rob for a while. I used to play a little bit of poker with him on Sky. Anyone who plays on Sky will know him. It's Scott's Lion, is it? I think you are.
Yeah, that's right. Well done.
Some
yeah.
Sky guys might know you through that. We haven't talked a lot, but Rob did reach out to me last week asking me to basically he just wanted me to be try doing some prop work on here, but because I'm a greedy bastard, I decided that I wanted more than just prop work. And Rob and I have been discussing a little bit about my becoming a sub affiliate. So Rob is the main affiliate, and I'm just going to direct traffic his way. So I will make a little bit of money from this, but not a lot. Rob will make a little bit of money from this, not a lot, because we want to pass most of the extra money that Rob's able to give to onto players, because it's important. We can't make money if players aren't grinding. It's important for us to give players good deals, keep them in action, incentivize them to play. And I'd rather make a little bit less from people who are playing regularly make sure they're getting good rewards and fair return on their play than do. That's what I used to do on the apps too. When I was doing the apps, I used to make sure my players got good rate back, and I didn't do that well out of it. And the intention was always to encourage people to grind rather than just get people on, make a quick hit and fuck off. Then you'll know better than me, but as an affiliate, you want people there for the long time, not for the short term, don't you? And the best way to keep people for the long term is to make sure they get a fair shake, which is what we're hoping, which is what we're not hoping to do, which is what we know we're going to do here. So I've just got a list of questions from Rob. Some of my own questions, some have come from the Facebook group. I already know the answer to the first question that people have asked, what is a rate structure? And I've looked, it's according to Prime Dope, Coin Poker is the best rake anywhere on the internet. It's apparently 4% rake with a $2 cap. I don't know if you know if that's changed or not since Prime Dope put that data on,
Yeah.
but I think they're pretty up to date. Rob, do you have any? Does that sound right
Uh,
to you?
Yep, that sounds right to me. They call them community contributions, the rake on Coin Poker, and it is 4%. You're right. So if you're playing 10, 25 cents, then there's a $2 limit at that stake. So it's 4%, and in terms of comparison with the industry, Party Poker, Sky Poker, GG. And iPoker is 5%, and I think PokerStars is 4.5% for their lower stakes. So, in terms of the industry average, Coin Poker is a bit lower in terms of their rake fee.
It does look best in the field, and also that some of them other sites, I don't know all of them, but I know some sites also have a higher cap too. I think Triple Eight used to have a higher cap. I don't know if they still do, but
Yeah.
so I think their rake was 5%, but with a $3 cap, not a $2 cap. I know on iPoker, that's a pretty high raking site. They give reasonable rake back, but it's higher raking. As far as I can tell, genuinely, and people who've known me a long time know that I don't bullshit about this. It's so much shit. I'll just say it's shit. This looks to me to be the absolute best, site in terms of like low rake for microstakes players I can see anywhere. And then when you
Yeah.
factor in the fact that we're going to be giving them, well, they're going to be getting 30% rate back from Coin Poker flat, and then we're going to be giving them an extra 10%, then Christ, the rate bill is going to be really low. When you factor in the fact it's already low rake, and they're going to be getting minimum 40% of that rate back, maybe more if they take up the prop deal, which we'll talk about later. It's going to be incredibly good for microstakes grinders, really good. If I didn't think it was really good, I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you now. I'd have looked at it, said to you, "Nah, I don't like this, mate. This looks a bit shit," and we wouldn't even be having the conversation because obviously I've got a Facebook group with nearly 5,000 members. I get people every single day messaging me, PPP this, X poker that, blah blah blah, loads and loads of people. Half the time I don't even respond to them because I'm just like, no, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. The fact we're even having this conversation means I already think this is good. As we talked about earlier privately, I think the downside to the site at the minute is traffic. But if we do our jobs correctly, hopefully that traffic will start increasing so people can, wherever they are in the world, they can always log in and have a game. And I think we could be in a position where we can help Coin Poker a lot, but we can also help low stakes grinders get into games that are beatable and get a decent rate back deal, and that hasn't been the case in online poker for over a decade now, where there's good rate back deals out there, but there's good rate back deals in games that are hard to beat, i.e. like GG, Fast Fold, all things like that, where you can get like pretty good rate back if you like crush the leaderboards. You can get up to 40% rate back, but you're probably going to be a losing player doing it. Whereas we're giving 40% rate back and going to be putting you in pools of players where you can actually have a positive win rate whilst getting 40% rate back, which is fucking huge. Anyone who takes the poker seriously at the micro stakes, has to be interested in something like that. So on the subject of that, the next question was, how much rake back will I receive? That's a question I got on Facebook. So can you explain how that works in terms of like the rake back they get from the site and then the extra rake back that you're going to be giving them? You're going to be like manually adjusting for them.
Yeah. So as part of the deal for Paul's microstate Facebook group, we've got the two options. If you want a 20% deposit up front, you can have that up to $50, or you can opt for the additional rake back. So effectively the 10%, we can agree that a 10% additional rake back, and that would be paid monthly. Now normally on the website, on Coin Poker, you'll get your 30% rake back every Monday. So there's an in-game currency called CHP, and as long as you pay your rake fees with CHP coins, then you'll get your 30% rake back every Monday. And then on top of that, if you want to opt for the additional rake instead of the deposit bonus, then you would get that in the first week each month following your month's play. So you'll get your your weekly rate back of 30% and then 10% at the end of the month as well.
So just to touch on that, because that's something I wasn't aware of. Are you
Yeah.
paying your rake in CHP directly? Like for example,
Yeah.
you and I, you gave me some money to start playing with just to try the site out, and
Yes.
I've done nothing. I'm just playing, and rake's being taken when I play pots. So that
Yeah.
by default, I'm just being. So a player doesn't have to do anything to pay their rake in CHP. That's just done by default, is it?
It's not done by default, but effectively the additional rake back that we give you will be paid as dollars into your account, just like I put into your account there.
Yep.
So, our additional rake back would just go in as dollars and back transferred into your balance. So if it's like 35, $50, whatever, it'll get transferred across. Inside the poker client, to pay your rake fees, they've got exchange your dollars for CHP. So you can go into that function and just exchange whatever $10 for CHP, and then you're paying your rake fees in the CHP. It might be a wee bit confusing with somebody who's not used to playing with crypto, etc. But basically,
that's me. I'm going to log in right now.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
But by
see.
default, if you don't do that, automatically you get 20% rake back. But once you go into your wallet and the cashier and you click exchange CHP, then you've got the option
Hang
to
on 1 minute,
buy.
buddy. I'm going to share my screen with you now, so you
Right.
can, because I don't know if I've done this correctly, and this will be a good.
Yeah.
This will be good for everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it now.
So tell me what I need to do. Talk me through it.
Yeah. So on the wallet icon.
This one here. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. If you click at that, and then you should have a button that says exchange CHP.
Yep.
Okay, and then if you click the CHP button, there should be a radio button there, and then for example, if you were to put in $5 there, and it will come up with a certain amount of CHP, so I think you'd probably have about 70 CHP. So if you convert that, that'll then show on the CHP on the top right hand corner of your account.
So should I be playing in these, like, should I convert all this amount to CHP?
No, CHP is just to pay the rake fees. You can't play poker in CHP, you can only play in Tether US dollars. So the CHP is just to pay the rake fees. So if you want the full 30%, then yeah, do that, convert a wee bit that you need into CHP, and do that, whenever you need to top up your CHP balance so that the rake fees get paid in that.
Right, that has genuinely confused me, and I'm going to presume it's going to confuse a lot of people. So because I haven't done this, I'm only going to be getting 20% rate back currently.
Yes, that's right. So 20%, and then as long as you pay your rake fees in CHP, then you get the standard or the full 30%.
So if I convert this to CHP now, then I'll see that number go down, and that's where my rate's being taken. And when this number reaches zero, I need to put some more into that.
Yeah. Your balance will go down by $5, and then your CHP balance will increase by whatever 70 CHP. And then the next time you play in a tournament, or the next time you play in a cash game, the fees will get deducted off your CHP balance, and make sure that you get the full 30% rate back.
Right, okay. So when people start the deposit, they should put some money into CHP, and then when
yeah.
And whilst they've got money in that CHP thing, they're getting 30% rate back. And if that drops to close to zero, top that back up again.
Yeah, totally.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So I'm going to put, because obviously I've not done this at the start, so I'm going to add no put. I like round numbers. So let's put 19.55 into it. Are you sure? Yes. So now, when this CHP number starts getting close to zero, I need to then do this again, and therefore I then get the 30% rate back, not the 20% rate back.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
Magic.
yeah.
Right.
So it's just you just need to get used to it. It's just a different way of paying the rake fees, and as long as you do that on the site, you'll get the standard 30%.
Right. Well, I've shafted myself for my 4 days play this week, but I can
Yeah,
live with that
yeah,
because it's a learning
yeah,
experience, and I'd much rather, and
yeah,
I'm much happier that that I've learned that now, because that means now anyone else, when they join the site, can you make sure that everyone I send to you is aware of that and knows what they're doing, please?
yes, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
totally,
didn't
yeah,
know that. I just presumed they were raking my money at the tables, and it was just being added up,
yeah,
and it was all going to be
yeah,
fine. So that's critical information that everyone's going to need to be told on. I think what we should probably need to do, or what you need to do, is when people sign up, just have like a list of bullet points of things that they need to know.
yeah,
So then, if
yeah,
they have any questions, they can do it before they start playing. Then everyone knows they're getting the full amount of rate back from the off. So just to wrap things up, they're going to get 30% rate back, paid weekly into their account automatically by the coin poker people, by the software, and that's just paid
yeah.
straight into their account. And then at the end of every month, or sorry, at the start of the next month, you're going to manually adjust their accounts for the extra 10% they've earned through our deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We'll just transfer 10% of the rate they've
and
earned,
how
yeah, into
long
their
will you
account.
need to do that? Because that what I want people to know is that they just want to know with consistency. That the worst thing is if people are like messaging me after 2 or 3 days, Reg, I haven't got my rate back yet, monthly rate back yet. How long would it typically take you to do that? And obviously, it's going to depend on how many customers you have, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
if
I mean,
say
I
you're
mean,
going to get the details on the first of the month of like what their play was the previous month, how long do you envisage?
yes.
Just say we had 10 players. How long would you say it would be before they would get their monthly rate back credited?
I think it would be normally within sort of 2 working days
Within
they
two
would get
working
their,
days.
yeah, yeah. I was going to say a week, but I don't think it'll need to be as long as that. I think a
No,
couple of working days and
and obviously
that'll be in.
if we end up with this growing more than we anticipate, then that might take longer. But we'll make sure the communication's right so people know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Right, the next thing I wanted to talk about before loads of people switch off is do you have to deposit using crypto?
Yes, on the website you do have to use cryptocurrency. Effectively, what I've got just now is I've got my Ethereum wallet, myetherwallet.com, and I use Binance in order to get my Ethereum and then transfer it into the site. However, if you aren't into crypto, then effectively we can help you deposit into your site onto the site if you want to use myself for depositing onto the site. One thing I will mention as well in terms of using crypto and depositing onto CoinPoker is that they use a thing called the Polygon network, and they introduced that this year. So normally with cryptocurrency, when you're making payments, transferring money, there's usually fees associated with it, but the Polygon network is free, so that's one positive if you are using CoinPoker, is that you can deposit and withdraw from the site for free using cryptocurrency. And if you're not into crypto, then I can speak with you and then we can arrange, I can deposit money into your account if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get that, because I think a barrier for a lot of people who don't have somebody like you to playing on this site is they're not into crypto, they don't understand crypto, they're scared of crypto. I say that because I'm all of those fucking things personally. And
Yeah.
there's going to be loads of fucking boomers around like me who are like, right, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying this site, but I don't have a crypto wallet and I don't want to get into crypto, so I'm staying away from it. But if you're saying that for those people, i.e., when there's when you get inundated with, you know, 15 little Reggie times who are total fucking boomers who don't want to know about crypto but want to play on soft games, obviously we're gonna have like a Discord group where people could reach out to you or I. You're like you're going to be able to process anyone's deposits and withdrawals for them using, I don't know, fucking PayPal or bank transfer or however it is they want to like send
Yeah.
you the money. They can send you the money and you can just deposit the relevant amount in dollars using your own cryptos. And
Yeah. 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 Effectively, we can just drop the money into into their account for them and just use the exchange rates on the day and just convert it to dollars for them. Yeah.
So if I deposited $200 and the exchange rate at this point, and God knows what the exchange rate is going to be with these Tory cunts in charge, we'll probably end up
Yeah.
the dollar will probably be ahead of us sooner rather than fucking later. But at the minute, you're getting something like $1.10 on the pound. So if I sent you £100, I get $110. If when it comes to cash out, the dollar's $1.08, then I'd get 108 back. For I'd give you 110, but I'd only get 108 back because you're always going to use the exchange rate on the day. You're not going to lock the exchange rate. So what you deposit at isn't necessarily what you cash out at in terms of the exchange rate.
Yeah.
You're just going to Google it on the day.
Yeah.
What's a dollar exchange rate? And that's what you're going to get. Sometimes you might do well out of it. Sometimes you might not do so well. Yep, that's fine. No issue with that. Just
Yeah,
people
that's
know the
fine.
rules.
I mean, just on the point of the pound, you've probably seen in the news the pound's actually doing really badly against the dollar just now. So I think it's
wankers, that's why.
It's $108 to £100. So £100 would get you $108. So it's getting closer to the 1-on-1.
Which is good for poker players because it means 25 and L in dollars is higher stakes than it used to be. But it's really bad.
Yeah.
If you're a British citizen, but that's what happens. I don't get political, but when you vote for cunts, you get cuntish outcomes, don't you? Anyways, never mind. Forget that. Can I play from the US or other say, for example, there's a lot of segregation out there. The US is segregated, Australia is segregated, Holland is segregated, France is segregated. Is it basically, can you play from anywhere in the world on this site?
Yes, you can play from anywhere in the world. The company that owns it, the site, is trying to keep up to date with the laws, etc. Because they're using crypto, they don't need like a United Kingdom gaming license, etc. So they don't have a gambling license. But for anybody that's not familiar with this website, Coin Poker, it has been around since 2017, so it's been around for 5 years, and it's Tony G's involved in the ownership of it, so it's been around for a long time. And what we were saying as well about being able to play anywhere in the world, sometimes you usually find, although the volume isn't as high as it could be compared to other sites, the liquidity, it has grown sort of steadily over the years. And I've came across a lot of different websites and new poker sites and crypto sites, but they've not been adopted as much as Coin Poker, and they don't have nearly as much traffic as Coin Poker either.
Yeah, I've noticed it since I've become I was aware Coin Poker was a thing, but I'd never really looked at it because I was brought up by the crypto element. But since you made me aware of it, they do seem to have quite a good social media game, and they do seem to be promoting quite heavily. I get that some people are going to be like, "Oh, I'm not sure about wanting to play on unlicensed sites," but this is no different to people who play on ACR, for example, is it? That's an unlicensed site. Ignition would be another one for US-based players. So if you're a US-based player, there's no more risk playing here. I mean, obviously, if you're playing in a licensed state and you're playing on WSOP or PokerStars or something, then that's different.
Yeah.
But if you're playing on ACR in America, for example, it's no different to doing this. This is no different to
it's no difference to it. And ACR Poker has actually been around for 21 years, and they've probably been the oldest poker site out there. And Coin Poker's been around for 5 years as well. So those sites, they've certainly been around a long time.
Yeah, so what I would say to players is, of course, there's always a slight risk when you're playing on unlicensed sites. But,
yes,
it's no more risk than if people who choose to play on ACR. It's no more risk than those to choose to VPN on poker. And let's face it, there's people who do it. People who play on VPNs on PokerStars, or people who play VPNs GG. There are going to be some people there who are really risk averse. This isn't going to be for you. But for most people, they're going to be like, right, fine, I accept there's a limited risk to it. But good games, decent rate back, makes it worth the risk. And as long as you manage your bankroll sensibly, and don't have all your bankroll locked up in anyone's site, regulated or otherwise, licensed or otherwise, you're going to be pretty safe. I mean, this is a far safer environment than the apps that I was involved in. And the apps, we had some like little hiccups on the apps, but no one ever lost a penny when they were working with me in like 2.5 years of doing it. If I thought this was
Yeah.
like unsafe for players, I would not be promoting it. There's always risk, but there's been risk to regulated sites. Look at what happened at Full Tilt years ago. They were,
Yeah. Yeah.
look what happened at Ultimate Bet. Look what happened to some micro gaming sites back in there. Some iPoker. There's always going to be a risk, but it's all about your like risk management, isn't it? And like, what am I prepared to? Where do I draw the line in the sand? And for me, if you're willing to play on sites like ACR, then this presents no more risk to your
Yeah.
funds than ACR
Yeah.
does.
I, I, and I was going to say, as a player myself, Reg, a poker player myself, I've actually been on the site for 3 or 4 years personally, and I've been depositing, withdrawing, and certainly, for me so far, touch wood, it's not presented any problems for myself from that perspective. And also, I mean, in terms of poker sites failing, you know, whether regulated or unregulated, doesn't mean to say that the site that you play on won't collapse. And one example of that is Phil Galfon's site, Run It Once Poker, which started and then it collapsed and closed in January of this year as well. That was a fully regulated site, but everybody got their money back. But it doesn't mean to say because it's regulated that the site you play on and you grind on isn't going to collapse.
No, there were some horror stories back in the day. I remember back in like 2007, 2008, there's all kinds of skins popping up on microgaming and on iPoker.
Yeah.
And when they went broke, it took a lot of players years and years to get like 10 cents on the dollar back. So you're right, there's always going to be risk. But like people see the word unlicensed or unregulated and they're immediately like, oh, this is really dodgy. And like the apps are really dodgy. And it's the least secure environment to play on. But I mean, I was working with somebody really, really good who knew the business inside out, and I felt my players were as protected as anybody. But in terms of like, if you trusted the apps, then you're absolutely going to trust this because it's like a way more secure environment, isn't it? There isn't just like a bunch of random people who are holding the money, in like random states. There's like the apps were always like there's individual clubs. The man could run off with the money at any point. There's unions. If one club ran off with money, then the union might collapse, etc. This is way more secure than all of that. And like I wouldn't be pushing this to players if I didn't think it was at least as safe as ACR. So if you're happy with ACR, or if you're happy like playing on Ignition or things, because US players, I think, are going to be quite interested in this, because they have like limited options where they can play. So I expect quite a big US involvement in this, and also in the UK, I think over time there's going to be more and more UK players that are going to want to think about it because all these sites now, they're just getting tied up by the regulator with the know your customers stuff. People like myself who've got like a reasonable net worth, but not much of an income that I can demonstrate because I only do like 12 hours care work. So my demonstrable income is like, I don't know, 500 quid a month.
Yeah.
My income's far greater than that, but it's 500. So if Sky ever decides to do a know your customer on me, which they haven't yet, I'd say, I earn, I don't know, say I earn £2,000 a month. They'd be like, oh, do you, Reg? Prove it. I'm like, well, I can't. That's tough shit then, Reg. Fuck off. Or, all these different regulations that are coming with people. I think that it's just going to push people more and more into unlicensed app games. It's going to push more and more people into going and playing on sites like ACR that don't have Know Your Customer, sites like Coin Poker. So, I think it's... Yeah, the unlicensed thing, it does scare people a little bit who are maybe a little bit on the nitty side in like life knit terms. But I think it's an avenue that more and more people are going to get pushed down as governments just make it harder and harder for people to like pursue their hobbies. It's disgusting. Shouldn't be happening. I get why they do it, but they're not doing it to protect the likes of you and I. They're doing it so they don't have a horror story in the Daily Star that fucking Maggie lost her fucking house playing online bingo, which has nothing to do with people playing online poker. But they're all, they're bringing these know your customer things in, and I don't think poker's a big issue. It's the casino and the bingo that's the issue, but it's the poker players that get hit the fucking worst by it. Winning poker players are getting restricted on where they can play because of regulations designed to protect fucking bingo addicts. It's a shambles. But anyway, again, that's
yeah,
that's a conversation for another time.
yeah. It's a
Next
different
question.
story.
Right, this question I'm going to answer before you do because I want your take on it. It's the question is tracking software allowed? Now I know they promote the site as no tracking software allowed, but someone has alerted me to DriveHood working on it. Now, is that people who use DriveHood, are they effectively breaking terms and conditions? Or is DriveHood
The
partnered up with CoinPoker?
the tracking software and converters, things like that, and HUDs, they're all prohibited. So there is a security team in place, and if you are using anything like that, any software, then potentially, you're risking your account getting closed down. The security team, they do have an active security team on the site, just in case anybody isn't aware if they do or not. They do, and they have closed accounts down recently and contacted players regarding players who were using different software and telling us that they had closed their account down and distributed their funds to other players that were at their tables. So, a lot of people think that, they can outsmart whatever sites, they're playing on, but there is a caveat with that they can close your account, they can withhold the funds, and they can transfer it to other people that you've taken the money off of.
So it is possible to get tracking software working, but we absolutely do not advise you do that because if you get caught, you will lose your funds.
Yeah, potentially.
Perfect.
If you're trying to cheat someone out of it, because it is part of the terms and conditions that you're not supposed to use any tools to benefit you, like HUDs or whatever. And to be honest with you, like, see, as long as Tony G is involved in owning the site, there's no chance of that changing, because he'll be the first person that's against HUDs and different software, running different software on the site.
Yeah. And I personally, much as I enjoyed like being able to look at hands I've played and review my play, etc., I'd be a lot happier if no sites had software and there was no way and there was no workarounds because I think poker is always much better on sites that don't allow tracking software. Like Sky Poker would be a classic example of that, where there's no tracking software and games just have remained soft for years. When other games have moved on, and I think it's a good thing personally. There will be some people who are like, no, I'm not playing a site where I can't be tracked, and that's not a bad thing because we don't mind them guys not being in the games because they're the guys that make the games the worst. So the fact there isn't tracking software shouldn't be seen as a negative, in my opinion. It should be seen as a positive. And on to the next question, which does the site have fast forward poker? I can answer that one too. No, it doesn't. Again, that's another positive because fast forward poker tends to only attract the sort of people you don't really want to be playing with, either really good regs or really tight regs. So again, you don't have to answer that one. I already know the answer to that one. There is no fast fold, and hopefully that remains that way because fast fold poker just sucks players from the regular tables, and it just makes the regular tables dry up. And speed poker, it's hard to beat, isn't it? It's beatable. It's hard to beat, and it's not a lot of fun. Next question, right? The prop payments. First of all, I'm going to explain what a prop is to people who don't know, because I do know there are some people who don't understand what propping is. A prop player is someone who effectively, they get paid by the site or an affiliate to play a certain amount of hours or hands per month. It's pre-arranged and you just get it. Whether you win or lose, you play off your own money. You're not advantaged by the site in any way. It's just we will pay you. If you agree to play a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of hands per month, we will pay you a certain amount of money. For example, if you're like a live player in Los Angeles and you're playing $5, $10 blinds, the fucking Commerce Casino might pay you $30 an hour to come and prop their games for, I don't know, 40 hours per week. It's the same online, obviously at the micro stakes, the payments aren't going to be anywhere near that sort of hourly rate. But it would be something along the lines of if you play 100 hours per month of 25 an L, we'll give you $250. And I'm not saying that's what you're offering, but that's kind of how it works. You're just getting paid for putting time or volume in, aren't you? So I know you're running at like a prop a prop thing. So how does your prop thing work? And we'll just talk about players playing 10L and 25L. I know there's someone who's already asked me about higher stakes, and you said to me, higher stakes people, you talk to them individually about it and do a deal with them individually. But if a bog standard 10L player came to you saying, right, I'm going to play 30,000 hands a month, what do I get as a prop for that? And this is in addition to their 40% rate back. What are they going to get? Is a 10L player telling you they'll play 30,000 hands a month?
Yeah, effectively, Reg, you've kept it really simple there for that example. And what we can do is a prop payment of $200 a month on top of their 40% rate back as well, if they were going to commit to doing those 30,000 hands. If they're on the site and they're playing higher stakes, then we can look at it. The range of stakes is quite widely varied, and the low stakes, just checking it out, you've got 2 cents, 5 cents. So, you get your super micro stakes in there as well, and a lot higher stakes too.
Yeah, and we talked about it before we started, and we came up with if you play 30,000 hands per month, you will
Yes.
get 10 buy-ins at the stake you paid back. So if you played 30,000 hands of 25 and L, you'll get $250. If you play 30,000 hands of 10 and L, you'll get $100. Because that's just a really simple way of doing it. And if you don't make it, it's not prorated down. If you play 29,999 hands, you get nothing. If you play, it's got to be, this is the start of the month. You tell me, you get 30,000 hands, you get an extra 10 buy-ins paid as a prop payment. And that's just it. We've got to keep it really simple, because I think you were talking to me privately beforehand about, maybe a little bit less if people don't quite make the goal, but that just gets really messy. Then the whole point of a prop arrangement is that you're paying someone to turn up and put the hours in, and their part of your part of the bargain is you will give them money for doing that. Their part of the bargain is actually, sticking to their word. It's not. I don't think it's right to have props saying, I'll play 30,000 hands, but knowing if I only play 22,500, I'll still get something.
Yeah.
That's not right. It's got to be, and I'm going to work for you as a prop, and I'm fully accepting. If I don't make 30,000 hands, I'm getting fuck all from you. I accept that, because that's just my part of the bargain. If I'm not keeping my part of the bargain, why should I expect you to adjust yours pro rata for me? It's not right, and if I play more than 30,000 hands, I'm not expecting any extra payments. It's just, this is the deal. Play 30,000 hands, you get the fucking money. Don't play it, you don't get the money. And I know there will be plenty of people in the micro stakes who can easily play 30,000 hands a month and would very much appreciate the extra 10 buy-ins rate back. So that's so we're going to say 10 and L, 25 and L, 50 and L. If you play 30,000 hands are we talking a calendar month? In a calendar month at
a calendar month,
you will get an extra 10 buy-ins at whatever stakes you've been playing.
One thing I will say though, the stakes on this site do go up to 10,000 NL, 10,000 Portland Omaha. So I don't know if we can quite guarantee it up at those stakes.
No. Well, that's what I said. We're just talking. Most of the guys that are going to come from me are going to be playing 5 and L, 10 and L, 25 and L.
Micro stakes,
micro stakes. Obviously, if people play higher stakes, we'll have a Discord group where they can speak to you privately, not in the group. They can send you a PM, and you can arrange a deal with them privately. I imagine there'll be a degree of negotiation there between you and the player that remains private, because that's between you and the player. But like the standard deals for like 5, 10 and 25 and L, it's nice to have just some pretty basic rules so people know where they're at the start, and there's no arguments.
Totally, those stakes.
I played X amount of hands, you owe me X amount of money. I didn't play X amount of hands, so therefore you owe me fuck all. And as a question to that, as an aside to that, and this is why I'm springing on you, because I've just thought of it myself, will players be able to check with you at the end of each week, like how many hands you've got? Are they on pace or not? Because obviously there's no way of knowing yourself how many hands you've played, because there's no tracking software. So would you be able to, if someone sent you a message on a Monday, am I on pace? Or how many hands did I play last week? Do you get that information weekly where you could tell them, they need to increase the volume or they're on pace, etc.?
I would need to come back on that, Reg, because I have had experience where people are contacting you every day for an update, and
No. It
it
wouldn't be
just
every
gets
day. No.
but some people where I have confirmed more often than once a month, they have come back to me sometimes every day or every other day, and it gets quite messy
Oh, yeah, of course. No, I
when you
totally
do
get
that.
that.
But what we'll do is see if we could do weekly for an update. I'll look into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think weekly's fine. Anything more than weekly is an egregious abuse of your time,
yeah,
and I would
yeah,
not support anyone doing that. You don't need to know how many hands you played every single day, but it is
yeah,
important to know if you get to the and just say you get to the third week and you're only on 20,000 hands. You're like, right, well, I need to fucking get my foot down now. It's important to know that because I haven't got a clue. I played on the site for 5 days now. I couldn't tell you if I played 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 hands. I couldn't tell you. Um, but if I was like when I start next month as a prop, I'm going to want to know at the end of every week how many hands I've played because I want to know like how many hours have I put in, how many hands have I played, how do I need to adjust my grind to make sure I meet my target.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
Totally
excellent.
understand. Yeah.
And how and when a prop payment's paid, I guess they'll just be paid with the extra rate back. That'll all be part of your like end of month calculations, I presume.
Yeah, just a transfer into the account, and yeah, it would just get transferred in with the rake back as well. Yeah.
Right, last question from me. Can people who already have accounts with Coin Poker but aren't on any extra rate back deals, can they be retagged to us or not? Or once they're already on, is it too late?
Uh, there's a possibility it can be done. If you've been introduced by another affiliate, there's no chance of getting
Of
retagged.
course, and I wouldn't expect it to be there.
If you went onto the site and you're not allocated to any of your tagged to any individual affiliate, then it is a possibility. We can refer to the account manager, but it's something that's out with my control, but I can certainly ask.
So if anyone already has an account but they don't think they're attached to anyone, they could join the Discord group, tell you their ID, and you'd be able to tell them whether or not they could be tagged to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I can certainly ask the question and see with an account manager from the site to see if they can be retagged.
Perfect.
But obviously, there's no chance if you've been introduced by someone else.
So is there anything that you think we've missed that people might need to know that we haven't covered in this conversation?
Yeah, I think we probably should just go over the rake races. In terms of rake races, there's cash game leaderboards and there's tournament leaderboards as well. So the leaderboard for the cash games is $10,000 per week, and that is split into No Limit Hold'em and PLO. So the No Limit Hold'em weekly leaderboard has got 50 prizes, and the top prize being $1,000, and the PLO is the same with 50 players, but it's a $750 top prize. So if you're putting in the hours and playing, your stakes are a little bit higher because you earn more points for the higher stakes, then you got a potential to get onto that leaderboard and get a slice of the leaderboard. In terms of the tournaments, that's once a month, and that is $15,000 total, and the prizes for that are cash up to $1,000 for first, and they've got up to 150 prizes for the monthly tournament leaderboard, and they've got some other freebies as well, which they're given as well. I think there's 3 times $200 tournament tickets, and they've got a CSOP main event series just now. They're giving a $500 tournament ticket for the top 6 people on the tournament prize in the tournament field. And just to touch on that as well, obviously there's some people doing the reg races, there's some regulars on the site, and then there's more people playing on the site as well who are just maybe into crypto. They don't really know poker quite as well, so there's quite a few fish in the site as well. But in my experience as well, if you're a tournament player or tournament grinder, there is a lot of weak spots in the tournaments. The tournaments are, particularly good if you're into tournaments and wanting to get some good value out of the tournaments too. So I would just say that as well. And also, in terms of games, I don't think we covered all the games on the site. You've got the No Limit Hold'em, you've got PLO, you've got your standard PLO 4 cards, and you've got your PLO 5. You've got your tournaments, as I said. You've got Cosmic Spins, which is effectively your spin and go sort of three-handed games. And it's one of the few sites as well that plays open face Chinese poker. So if you do play that, they've got the pineapple version. Reg might not play this.
No, I've
but
never played a hand of
it's-
Chinese in my life. So now you're
yeah,
you're talking to someone who hasn't got a clue what you're talking about, but someone somewhere
yeah,
will know. So you go for it, mate.
yeah. So, I mean, I've sort of studied and researched trying to find online pineapple Chinese poker, and it's not played on many sites at all. I think it might possibly be played in some of the apps that you discussed earlier, but if you do play open face Chinese poker, then I suppose this is the site to play it on. They do play it there. I think it's from 2 cents a point right up to $50 a point.
Yeah, I've seen some on PP Poker, and I tried watching, and I didn't have a fucking clue what I was looking at, so I just turned it off again. I've got the first fucking idea. But I do
Yeah,
actually have a friend, my friend Mark. He likes playing Chinese poker, so maybe he might be. Is there
yeah.
traffic? Is there traffic in those games? Because I know he'd probably be interested in playing a little bit of Chinese.
In terms of traffic, because not many sites play it, you'll find more traffic on this site than anywhere else. But there's not a ton of traffic. But having a look just now, there's 4 tables running just now, and the highest stakes is $200, which is $2 a point. So there is a mixture of low stakes up to $10 a point. So, but yeah, there's enough traffic. If you want to play at any given time, you'd probably be able to get into a game if you were to load up the site.
Yeah, excellent. Because I said I know there are very few people in my group, but there's always something for everyone. I looked at the PLO 4 and 5 games the other day, and there wasn't many running, but fuck me, they seem soft.
Yeah, yeah,
There's,
yeah,
they did
yeah.
seem soft, especially the 5 card variant. There was an awful lot of limping, an awful lot of
Uh-huh.
lots and lots of money going in. Then when you saw a showdown, you're like, right, okay, well, one person played that hand okay, and 2 people played it absolutely atrociously. So if you are into
Yeah,
PLO
yeah,
4 and 5, the traffic really isn't there at the moment, but that does mean when the games run, they're just saturated with fish. So yeah,
yeah,
that's. I mean, I might take a look at with the bankroll I've got on the side at the minute. I can't play PLO, but if I was to build the bankroll up, then it was certainly something I would look at. Mixing PLO and no limit just to get my volume in and just to get my hands in. Right, so I
yeah.
think we've just about covered everything there, mate. So I do appreciate you taking the time to come on. Hopefully, we've covered everything. If anyone has any more questions, then just leave them in comments on YouTube or on Facebook, and I'll make sure that Rob gets to see them. And we will be starting a Discord group so that people can have direct contact with Rob, because I'm very much the middleman here. Rob's going to be the one doing all the stuff like getting people signed up. Like I'm assuming I'm going to have a link to give to people. But
Yeah,
then you'll be
yeah,
the one, if people, especially for the people who don't want to deposit using crypto, you'll be there for that, and you'll be there to explain like anything they need to know about, like changing to CHP, for example, which I didn't know about. So there is
yeah,
going to be pretty good customer service. I mean, obviously, like we're not going to be around 24/7, but imagine with 2 of us doing it, you're never going to need to wait more than a few hours to get a response to any question you've got. Assuming you're not
yeah,
asking it like two in
definitely.
the, if you're asking at 2 o'clock in the morning, you might need to wait a few hours then. But I'd imagine if you're like
Yeah,
UK based or US based and you're asking any time between 8 a.m. and midnight, you're normally going to get a response from one of us pretty quickly, because we're going to be able to cover those times pretty well, I would imagine,
yeah,
between us. We're both UK based. So yeah, cheers for that, Rob. Very much appreciate it. I'm
yeah.
sure
Thanks, Reg.
there won't be many people still listening at this point. My YouTube videos tend to tail off quite quickly,
Yeah,
because they do go on too long. I shouldn't really make 45-minute videos because, you know, after about 7 minutes, every cunt turns off. But hopefully, the guys who've been interested in maybe moving where they grind, they've stuck around and they've got all the information they need. If we haven't covered something, like I said, please do ask, and I'm sure that I won't know the answer, but Rob will. So cheers for that, Rob.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay, no worries. Thanks, Reg.
So that was Rob. If any of you guys do want to sign up, then do get in touch beneath the YouTube video. If you're not in the Facebook group, YouTube video, or you can email me, or ideally contact me on Facebook, either by replying beneath the video on Facebook or just sending me a private message on Facebook. And we are going to start a Discord group, and the process will be anyone who contacts me will be given a link to the Discord group, and then there you get the affiliate link where you can sign up and ask any questions there. So I don't want to be like continually clogging and spamming the Facebook group with this thing, because I don't want to piss people off. So you'll be instantly given a link to the Discord group, and then from the Discord group we can get you signed up and do all those things. If you stuck around this long, hopefully we'll hear from you soon, and you can join us in what is hopefully going to be an exciting new venture. But for now, we'll leave it there. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.